Welcome to my cactus care live stream. Doing a lot of stuff today. I brought 4 more plants that I wanted to show you, all with different health problems, stuff from the greenhouse. And then I also brought a lot of seedlings here. I also have seeds here that we need to clean. So I would propose I will get started right away. Let me see. So I brought this kind of plant from the greenhouse, and I want to show it to you first. So this is a grafted Lubivia, and everything was okay, but it has been attacked by slugs. You can see that this orange discoloration. That's what it got recently. So if you don't treat this, when this happens in winter, it can lead to total loss of the plant. So in this case, we need to clean it up. And again, this was little pieces eaten out by a slug or by a snail, and it really did a bad number on it. So we will have to clean up the wounds, have to clean everything up here, and then hopefully we can save the plant, because the way it looks now, this could easily take over the whole plant, the whole graft. So we will have to clean it up now. And welcome to the stream, guys. So what I'm doing now is I will try to remove just the dried skin that is still there. Very often a slug buries itself deep below the skin and causes injuries that aren't visible because the skin is still there. So now I need to remove that first so we can really clean this up. We need to see what's going on below everything here. If you leave the skin like on it, it can become infected. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm a little late because I brought a bunch of interesting things that I wanted to show. And right now, this is a graft that had been attacked by slugs. And I tried to clean up the wound now. We'll see how much I need to take off. At this point, I just removed the excessive skin that was left. But it doesn't look good, so we'll see what we do. At the very least, I need to clean up the wound here. Remove everything that doesn't look good. This slug poo also needs to be removed because this will lead to an infection. Okay, go away, please. Okay. So yeah, I will be cleaning up this thing here now. We need to keep it indoors now because now that I'm cutting, this could lead to a new infection later on, or it could attract more slugs that are just in the greenhouse, hiding in the greenhouse. Every time I get problems like this that require me to remove something that will lead to open wounds, I have to put the plant into the house, somewhere where you can control the humidity. So yeah, I would just clean this thing up now. It's starting to look pretty bad now, but it's just important to clean it up, to remove all the old infection so it has a chance to pop again, to give it a new clean start. And when everything's full of this orange kind of superficial fungal infection, there's always the risk that it spreads further into the plant. And now that I'm opening everything up here, I can see so much that would have probably gone bad later on. So yeah, trying to clean this up as good as I can, and hopefully the plant will just heal without an infection and graft and pop again. This thing will never grow normal again, the way it looks like. But at the very least, it gives you a chance to remove little side pops if it makes it. But the situation, this isn't easy because the slug ate pretty big parts out of the plant. It kind of dug little tunnels inside the cactus. So it's important to remove all of that. Opening everything up, there needs to be oxygen needs to get to everything. And by doing that, it allows for a fresh start. If you have little tunnels in this thing, and when it gets wet, it instantly kind of leaks into these areas. And every area where you have water pooling in a cactus, that's not a good thing. That will definitely cause a problem at some point. Infections can stop by themselves, but it isn't really super common. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the future, I will bring more plants into the stream where we can just discuss this. Every time I find plants in the greenhouse that need something, I will do it on the stream or at least in a video. Important to also do this stuff over winter, because if not, you just you will come into the greenhouse in spring and you will find so many plants that you could have saved if you had just done something. This is not difficult, you know. This is just mechanical, very mechanical process where you just try to get rid of the infection. It doesn't really matter that you need a huge piece. One tiny piece can be enough that it pops. As long as the connection between the scion, in this case it's a graft, and as long as the connection is okay, nothing prevents it from making a comeback at some point. You just have to be careful that you don't remove all the areoles, because they need areoles to pop from. But that's it. Okay. I think I'm done here. I mean, there are tiny little areas where there's still a little bit skin that's standing over, but most of it is all right. This just needs to heal properly. It is very important that something like this, when you're doing this kind of stuff, that the plant isn't brought back into high humidity. If I would move this plant into the greenhouse, it would be gone. Not a chance. This would be, within 1 month, it would be gone. And it would probably also affect the grafting stock. But yeah, so this is how we keep it. Check it out. I just cleaned up the wounds. I removed the excessive skin. That the excess skin that was everywhere. Had little tiny tunnels where the slug just ate itself below the skin layer, and that often needs to be removed. There's still orange parts left, but as long as you have most of the active infection and you do it right, it will probably heal up. It will callus just fine. If something comes back, we will just take it off. But the way I do this, there will probably not be enough humidity to just keep the infection going. An infection, in order to continue, you just it often is already enough to remove the main part, clean it up a little bit, and then just put it in conditions where fungal infection just can't make a comeback. So yeah, there's still some orange here and there, but a lot of that is just activity from enzymes that are breaking up, that kind of stuff. Just because some parts of it are also orange doesn't mean that the infection is still there to come back. It can mean that, but in this case, I believe it would have healed if this had happened in summer. Every now and then when you have a slug that just takes a lot of bites out of a plant, then it gets kind of infected, it gets a discoloration on the wound. But unless the plant is in bad conditions, it goes away again very often. So yeah, we're just trying that. We are creating a decent kind of summer setting indoors, or maybe spring from the temperatures. I don't want to have it too high. I don't want to have the fungal infection finding a good temperature range. So yeah, we'll keep it at 10 degree, maybe Celsius, somewhere near. Maybe I will put a plant lamp on it, but for now, this is all right. It's just important that I don't put it into high humidity. That is the main thing for me now. If I would put it into the greenhouse, there would be no chance that this would work out. Let me just see. There's some kind of insect here that I want to remove before it gets in. I don't want to have insects injured here. I'm all right with them living besides the plants. So yeah, this will go somewhere where the wound can heal. Next one. Okay, so here's one. Check it out. Grafted plant also. And this has been looking pretty good for a while, but the tip developed some sort of fungal infection. Could have also just terminated from lack of water from some sort of tiny thing, but it developed into a little tip infection, and I want to remove it. I brought more knives here. What I want to do is I will just put something on top of the seedling that I can kind of grab it, maybe my glove here, and then I will remove the upper part here. This is an infection that would just slow everything down substantially if I would leave it like this. I don't think that long term this would recover. It looks a little bit also like this could have been caused by spider mite. Spider mite often cause these tiny injuries at the tip, and when things go wrong, when the climate allows it, these things can become infected. So I believe we need to take off the tip. At the very least, if we would leave it like this, it would need a few years. This kind of growth just takes extra time to heal, to be grown out. And yeah, very often it can make sense to take it off, especially if we would put it back into the greenhouse now. We wouldn't have an eye on it. We would not know if this thing continues to progress a little bit more into the center. So yeah, at this point, it can make sense to take it off, take off the infected tip, and just give it time to heal. Obviously, this can also not go to the greenhouse again. This also needs to be somewhere where you can control the climate, somewhere where you can control the humidity. High humidity and a fresh cut, it will always create perfect conditions for fungal infection. So yeah, I will take off the tip now, and I try to not get too many spines, because this is a spiny cactus. This is one of the ones that I don't really like to handle. Okay. Okay, I took it off. I still got a bunch of spines, but it's okay. I'm used to it. So here's the situation. This is the tip that I took off. Clean cut. That means we might have even left it, but if we had done that, we would have needed to clean up the wound at least, to give it a chance to pop from the corners of the wound. With this kind of infection here, it's very difficult to clean it up. I just think this would have wasted a good year And now we can use this piece here. We can put this thing besides the other plant, like upside down, like this, you know. I want to have the wound upwards, and then it can heal now. And if the tip would have made it, you still have it. You can root it separately as long as the wound is healed, as long as the wound gets a little bit time where you don't put it press on the soil right away, because this just needs to callus like you would do it in summer. And right now in winter, callusing isn't so easy. I often callus with lamps, with grow lamps. There are a bunch of these flat kind of panel LED lamps that I like to put on top of a wound. And that allows me to put UV rays onto the wound, like what you would do with a when the plants are outside in nature and are in contact with sunlight. The sunlight in summer, it just has an effect that gets the wound to dry very fast, that kind of stuff, you know. So yeah, let me show you how it looks. This will just pop again, nothing else. This will pop again, and it will be good. It just needs to be in a environment that doesn't allow the fungal infection to come back. If I would move it into the greenhouse now, into humidity in winter, it would come back within weeks. Or what often happens is a slug will notice that there's a wound. They just have a feeling for it, and they are also around in winter. In the greenhouse, there are always these little slugs that hide, and after the season, you find them and see the damage that they did. They would instantly love this thing. They would be all over it. So yeah, I would just put it beside the heater, but not too hot, just 10 degrees Celsius, something like that, to allow the wound to heal. And that is pretty much what I want to do. I'm just looking into this because there's also a little spider, something like that came out of here. And I wanted to put it back in, but now I don't find it anymore. I just hope it's not. I don't want to have them in the house, you know? Like, not that it would bother me. I just feel like they would probably prefer to stay outside. They would probably find more food outside. Okay, next one. Check this out. Candy Khan's kind of body. At least that's what I believe it is. But I need to look into this. So here, this seedling had an injury, was injured by a slug, something like that, and now we lost it. So I would first remove the remnants of that because I don't want to have anything rotting staying in my pot. And then I remove a little bit of oxalis here and there. Here's another tiny seedling that didn't make it. Also needs to be removed. You don't want to have anything that that's organic, that keeps decaying, that keeps bothering. Okay. So let me have a look here. So now I see something that I really don't like. There's an infection at this small seedling at the base here. It is a really small infection, but this is really a problem. I don't think that this plant will heal. And the big one here, by the way, check this out. Here, infection at the base. And this is mealybug. This is mealybug causing micro injuries at the roots. Hey, welcome to the stream, guys. I'm just discussing a bunch of cacti from the greenhouses, doing a little bit of removal here and there, just stuff that that we need to do right now that can't wait. So I'm doing it on stream, and unfortunately this cross kind of doesn't look so good. Had a fungal infection, and I need to remove a bunch of stuff here. So yeah, this one seedling here with the with the rot situation at the base, we can't save that. We need to take the whole thing out. So I will just remove the seedling at the base, because with the root rot at the base, you just can't. It will not go away. It will stay like that, and will get worse and worse. So I think that we can save the tip. If we remove the fungal infection at the base, we can save the tip here. There's a good chance if the infection doesn't come back. So yeah, I just need something to hold the seedling in place, and then I will remove the fungal infection with a knife. I want to reroot the tip. Okay, this was a good decision. The wound looks okay. Not super clean, but clean enough to root it. So this will go upside down into the pot. That's how I often do it. I want to have that wound. I want that wound being hit by UV light, no matter if it's artificial from a lamp or if it's outdoors, the sun. I definitely want to keep that wound completely dry, and also ideally let it hit by light. This thing here, I can't, we will put that away. 1 half looks like you might be able to save a tiny piece of it, but it's not worth the hassle. Really not. When you have a mid piece like that already had a large infection, it is very unlikely that it goes away again. So now I've seen a little infection at the base of this small seedling here. And yeah, that we need to remove that. We just need to remove that too, and that will become more difficult because it's a tiny seedling. But we need to do it. So let me just try to get this done in an angle where I can remove it. So I'm just trying to remove only the fungal infection, and it's so difficult. Okay. A little bit more. Long term, these will be treated against mealybug, because this is the kind of damage that I see from mealybug. You have them going crazy in the root system, and then you only see the damage they did. You don't see them very often, but they are present. If I would take the roots out now completely, and I'm not doing it because it's winter, but if I would unroot them now, I'm pretty sure I would find mealybug. So these will be treated. These will get a little bit of neem oil. I'm not a huge fan, but it's at this point, it's the only thing where I feel like it will do the job reliably right now without using any kind of serious pesticide. Okay, and the last one, Lubivia. And these are Lubivia winteriana stuff. And look at this. Also, fungal infection at the base, and it's important to get that whole thing out without it spoiling everything. Okay. So now I have 2 healthy seedlings here, I guess. At least that's what I believe they are. I'm not sure. I'm just looking at the other seedling to judge whether the infection has already spread or not. So this, I actually thought I might be able to save the tip, but this is a goner. This will not be able to be saved, because if you really manage to get a healthy areole out of this piece here, it will be so contaminated that it makes no sense. So yeah, best just keep an eye out for the for it to return. Like, better to focus on these 2 healthy seedlings that we have now. Give them a good spot. These need to go in full sun right now. I can put these in the greenhouse. There's no wound on them. I cleaned it up, removed the 1 seedling that wasn't healthy. Yeah. We'll be repotting them probably. So yeah, but apart from that, this will go out into the greenhouse again. Okay, that was it. That was the 4 plants that I brought. I will do more, but not now. Just hope that they will heal. When you're growing cacti, you're often you just have to kind of operate here and there, like take a piece out that is infected. It just happens so often. There's no way to avoid it, because otherwise you would constantly lose rare plants that can be saved by just taking a little piece off here and there. And it's not something that is fun. Very often it's a disgusting thing, but you just have to do it. Otherwise you will lose so many cool plants. Like what we did now, some of them would probably not be here anymore next year if we wouldn't do it. Okay. I brought a lot of seedlings too. Want to go through them? These are other ones than the ones that I brought yesterday, I believe. So let's have a look. And always happy to take questions. If you have any questions, just write them in the chat. If not, I would just do my stuff here. Classic cactus care stuff. Seedlings are looking great. These are perfect. Textbook, healthy kind of seedlings. Always that Caesar La cross that I like so much. In regards to the body, it produces very healthy offspring, at least in this case. Okay. This got a little bit stuck up in there. I think I have it now. So here, this is one of the ones that we put into washed pumice. And you instantly notice how light everything is compared to the other one. Very light material and very easy to move. And that is a problem in case of this, because the moment you handle it, you kind of create a little bit instability in this thing. So always handle with care when you use this kind of roundish washed pumice material. In the beginning, when I got started, I kind of underestimated what a big difference it makes when a medium just doesn't move all the time. When a medium is very compact, allows the roots to just get a good grip. At first, I never really thought it would be so important, but it actually is. Just leaving the plants undisturbed and not having to move them all the time. That is also something when you are rooting a piece. If you constantly move it around, it is so bad. It just keeps the plant from settling in, from finding a fixed position where it can focus on just rooting. And in this case also, I mean, they are rooting, they are growing, little tiny seedlings, and they just need a little bit of stability. Stability is important in life, not only for people, but also for little cacti. So yeah, I will close this up again. Looking good, and I don't want to do much because they are still, this is very early on. I repotted maybe a few days ago, maybe 7-8 days ago, and it's still not settled in. This will take half a year until everything is so close together with the root system that it doesn't move so much anymore. Okay, they're looking good. One of them has fallen over. Doesn't really make me happy. It doesn't spark joy when I see that. Okay. Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to move a seedling and it just rolls over all the time. It's a little bit roundish. And that might be the reason that it fell over. But now I have it. Apart from that, seedlings are looking great. I mean, you can probably not see it in the video, but they have a reddish kind of glow to them in center. So tiny reddish tip as a response to the light, but not really bad. It's not really, I like to see discoloration in seedlings. At least it tells me that they react to the environment, that they are doing something. Okay. So yeah, these are looking great too. One fell over. Nice. I love that when they do that. And now that I look closer at it, I see it's fungus gnat damage. I will wage war on them. I can promise you that. And the soil is very dry. The soil is so dry that it surprises me that fungus gnats even propagate in it. But there's one that's flying away now. Go away, man. Yeah, apart from that, the other seedlings are looking great. It was just that one seedling that's completely hollow now. Hollowed out. But the others are okay. We'll close them up again. But if I see them coming back, we will transplant in washed pumice like we did here, like we did with the other. I'm not afraid to do it early on. I don't care if they make it or not. It's just you have so many seedlings, and if we lose a few here and there, that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. So yeah, let's see here. They're looking okay, looking good. Soil is a little bit too wet, and that's because I watered it afterwards, like just recently. Should be a little bit drier, because I also want to have oxygen in the roots, like getting to the roots. And when you have too much water in it, that doesn't happen. But there's no water that's pooling at the bottom, so maybe it will eventually find the right settle in, find the right humidity. You always lose a little. Okay, next one. These are looking great. Not seeing any problems. No fungus gnats. But yeah, a lot of seedlings. A lot of seedlings at once. A lot of work that we will have to do when these are bigger. Okay. Next one. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show the wound on a little piece where we removed where I removed an infection yesterday. So look at it. It has this orange discoloration. That is definitely from the fungal infection that it had. But I believe I can stop it. But we now at this point, and this is very dehydrated. It is so dehydrated that I'm not sure if it will make it. But what we will try to do is we will put a plant lamp on top of the wound, and I just try to get it to heal so fast that the plant has time to take in water again. But this is very close, and we might not make it. But I wanted to show you, just because the wound is getting the same, like a little bit discoloration afterwards, it doesn't mean that the fungal infection will come back. It just means that it kind of reached that part of the plant. It was there, but if you removed the important part, it might just heal. Very often they do. So, okay, these are looking great. Very healthy looking seedlings. Let me see what that is. Could be the same Zizala kind of cross, because they look similar. Oh, the label doesn't come out. Show me. Yes, Zizala. It's the same cross as the other one. They just look great. This is a healthy looking seedling. I really need to look at Caesala and what kind of a parent was involved in it. I'm not sure. It could be that it is a very similar hybrid than as Bamboy. Same kind of body. The body's so massive of Bamboy. Could be something similar. Okay, so these are looking great too. Have a little bit of moss and algae growing in there. Some kind of a plant, little green kind of plant, but nothing that grows invasively throughout the container. Just a little local tiny plant that doesn't matter. Very often there's just normal kind of plant life coming up here and there. And in most cases, this is not a problem. We will have more problems with the fungus gnats. But yeah, they are looking good here. Not seeing any fungus gnats. So closing it up again fast before they kind of find a way into this. Okay, next one. Yeah, tiny looking seedlings, very tiny, just days old probably. They're looking good, they just need more time. These will need at least 3 weeks until you can see actual growth on them. These have just come up, just germinated out of the seed, maybe a week ago at the most. So this can this will just go under the plant lamp again. Needs more time. Okay. So good that we opened this one up because there's a fungal infection that took a seedling, that claimed the seedling, I guess. Either that or a seedling has germinated with the wrong side up. Let me remove it and then we'll see. Yeah, it's a seedling. It was a root. So there was basically a seedling that was buried and the only thing that was sticking up was the root. And I got that one out and we put it into the right direction, like with the roots into the soil. It was important that we caught it because if that plant would have continued to grow, at some point it would have expired and become a fungal infection. Here's a tiny seedling that doesn't have life. I will remove that. Really tiny, not like a little bit delayed, but tiny. Apart from that, looking okay. There's some variegation in there. Bunch of seedlings might not make it, but this is okay. Just part of it. We are growing so many. It's okay when we lose some here and there. Just not too many. At some point we will have to single out anyway. Whether it happens now or later. Okay, next one. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. The soil is a little bit puffy, like I dropped it. So compacting everything a little bit more. Not too much. I don't want to have a super firm kind of grip. I don't want to have a cement brick kind of ground. I just want it to be able to be a little bit firm. Give the seedlings a little bit stability, nothing more. Apart from that, everything's all right. They are looking great. These are maybe 5 weeks old, I guess. Okay, Next one. Yeah, they're looking okay. Seedlings are looking good. I'm a little bit worried about the soil. I feel like the quality of the soil looks like it decreased. Might have at some point have to transplant them. For now, it's going good, and I don't change stuff when it's going good. But long term, these might have to be transplanted. Okay, next one. Yeah, a lot of seedlings in here. Pretty dry soil. Feel like they are looking a little bit dehydrated. Just and you can see that when the spines are getting too big in relation to the body. Might have to water them. Don't have a lot of water left here, but I will water them later. Yeah, apart from that, they're looking good. I mean, a little bit dehydration isn't too bad, but there's a limit. Sometimes it's also important to look at the bag. They can have holes, especially when you're, in my case, I have them beside the heater, beside the wood oven. And every now and then one of them like has a hole in it. It just happens from time to time. So keep an eye on that, because if there's a hole in it, it will just not be able to have enough humidity for the seedlings. They just need a lot of humidity early on. These are great, looking healthy. Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubungssiedling. Aporo candicans. Interesting hybrid with ruffled flowers. Really nice. And this one here, this is from a Reinhard Liske cross with Cantora Gelb as father. And it just improved everything. It improved the size of the flower, the quality of the flower, the color is nicer, and it is able to accept pollen from other plants. And a lot of the Gräser hybrids are self-fertile, while that one isn't. So yeah, okay. Looking good. Not changing anything, not seeing fungus gnats. Great thing to see, no problems. Gotta appreciate the little things in life. So this will go away. Back to the lamp. Okay. Healthy green. That's what sticks out to me. Nice, healthy green. The soil has the perfect humidity. Not too much, but also not too little. No fungus gnats. Closing it up right away before anything gets in there. You just see when fungus gnats are in the soil, they instantly decrease the quality of the soil. Okay. Uwe Kahle hybrid. Also great humidity in the soil. But yeah, a little bit early to see actual growth. For now, I will just close it up again and hope that there will not be any kind of fungus gnat that's coming in there. Okay. Let's see. Next one. Maybe 8 more after this one. I'm not sure if this one belongs to the ones we've already tested or not. We'll see. These are looking great. Very young though. Very young seedlings. Some of them green, some of them yellow. Really a wide variety of different skin colors here. Removing a few seed corns here and there, seeds, husk. so they don't cause an infection when they don't slip down from the tip. That can happen with the little seedlings. But apart from that, these are looking good. I mean, there's immense differences in regards to the color. But that's it. Seedlings are looking good. Closing up again. Some of them might not make it because they are variegated and need to be grafted. But okay. Not my problem. I don't need variegated plants. That's just something that that you lose interest in. Like if it isn't able to survive on its own roots, I don't want it. It needs to be at least able to do that. Okay, so this looks terrible and we need to do something. We can't leave them like this. So you can see that there's moss, and this is the kind of moss where the soil is just done. It's used up. I see a seedling and it has basically melted, and it's directly besides the moss. I can just see that the pH level of the soil, without measuring it, I know that the pH level isn't right here. I know it. So we will have to transplant these later. But we'll put this aside, and these will go into washed pumice. Either washed pumice or a fresh set of soil. Whatever you prefer, I would put them in probably in pumice. Okay. More seedlings, and these are looking great. They continue to grow, healthy kind of spines. Not one where I feel like there are problems, so I will close it up again right away. Don't want to get involved. I don't want to change stuff that works. Okay, next one. Yeah, these are looking great. Not seeing any problems. Maybe one or two that that are tiny, that might eventually run out of life energy. But that's it. Not seeing a fungus gnat, but it's giving me these vibes that they might be there. Just from looking at the soil, but apart from that, the seedlings are actually looking a little bit too good for that. Okay, next. Yeah, avocado seeds, seedlings looking great. Never change a winning team. Trying to see if there are any kind of fungus gnats in the soil, but I don't think so. I don't want to look too close, otherwise we might find some. Okay, let me see here. These are looking great. Decent looking seedlings with a pretty good growth right now. But on the side here, we have 3 seedlings that are lying. So I need to transplant them, give them a new connection to the soil. Apart from that, I mean, one seedling has a discoloration that I really don't like, where I feel like it could be a fungal infection. But apart from that, everything okay. So, okay, next one. I will close this up, but that one seedling doesn't look so good. I might have to do something there. Okay, here's one, and a seedling is lying in the corner that I need to pull out, because otherwise it would just fall into the crack here. This looks like fungus gnats. This really looks like fungus gnats. I'm not sure what's going on here, but fungus gnats played a role in it. Here's a seedling that didn't make it. taking that one out. And overall, there's just a bunch of problems in regards to contact to the ground. And that tells me that fungus gnats are doing their thing. Yeah, there is one. Nice. We will transplant them. I'm not taking it. I'm unwilling to take it with these. This will be transplanted in washed pumice. They need to go into washed pumice anyway, so then we're doing it sooner. Okay, and here is one with washed pumice. Looking great. Developing nicely. Not seeing fungus gnats. This was one of the ones that had to be transplanted due to fungus gnats. And yeah, it's going great. Looks good. That's exactly why I wanted to transplant them into washed pumice. Everything going great. Okay, so here we checked these. This is the Caesar hybrid. Looking good and closing up again. And now we're done with the seedlings. And I want to continue with the seeds. I brought some seeds to clean here. And that would be the what I will do for the remainder of the stream. So yeah, let me get my stuff here. The seeds here, these were harvested from a plant that I got as pink stripes. And the way it often turns out when you buy something on eBay, in this case, it was something entirely different. It looked like pink stripes, like the body of pink stripes, but the flower was just yellow, but a nice yellow flower. And yellow isn't so common, so I kept it, and I pollinated it with real pink stripes in this case. Yeah, so maybe we can get something good from it. My suspicion was that it involved pink stripes, that it was probably a hybrid with pink stripes, something like that. Yeah, but it's flowering yellow. Didn't get the classic pink stripes color. But I like yellow, and yellow isn't in the last couple of years. I had problems having yellow flowers when I needed them. Okay. Seeds already pretty clean. So that is great. I can bag these almost right away. Doesn't happen so often. But you really got to appreciate it when it happens. In regards to the number of seeds, maybe 350. And that also shows you that genetically these are pretty close. Okay. Yellow pink stripes crossed with pink stripes. Okay. Next one. I'm always happy when I get done so fast with one cross. They sometimes take so much time, depending on how dirty everything was. Okay, so this is a Lubivia cross between Ica, Dessau, and Gräsers Überraschung. So it's a multi-hybrid cross actually, not Lobivia. Ika is a Lobivia. Dessau, Pseudo-Lobivia. Gräsers Überraschung is some sort of Aporo, Candy Can, something maybe. I'm not sure. I've read about it, but I forgot it already. It's definitely an old school hybrid. Okay. Also pretty clean here. Okay. Maybe 100 seeds at the most, but probably not even. But yeah, I guess 100 seeds. Removing the ones that are not viable, everything that's flattish, not looking like a developed seed. Okay. Ika, Dessau, and Gräsers Überraschung. I have at least 2 of these. It's just a good hybrid. I've seen some good offspring from it. So every now and then I sow them out. I've shown a hybrid this year from a similar cross, and it really looked nice. Had a nice kind of flower. Think with Lubivia winteriana. Okay. So Ika, Dessau, Gräsers Überraschung. These are different cultivars. Okay. So, next. Feels great to move along a little bit with the seeds. Okay, this is a Uwe Kahle plant where I harvested seeds from it, where I made a cross. Was the first flower. Hybrid from 2017. 2017, 56. Had a nice color. That I remember. Really good kind of flower. So this could be great too. Just removing all the seeds from the paper towel here that I have, where I dried them. Okay. This was a really good hybrid. Got to look up the photos. I want to look at it again. But I sent photos to Uwe and he was very happy with it also. Okay. A lot of fruits, crumbs that are in the mix, within the mix here. But I will clean it up as good as I can. Not easy sometimes to do this with one cleaning round. Every now and then you might have to do a second. I try not to wash the seeds too often because in my opinion it can affect the viability when they are wet for too long, when they are in humidity for too long without actually coming up, without having enough humidity to come up. Okay. Always happy to take questions, guys, if you want to know something, what I'm doing. If not, I will just move along cleaning seeds right now. Not sure how long I will continue to stream. maybe 15 minutes, something like that. So yeah, I'll be around for a little bit longer, just doing the cactus work here, cleaning cactus seeds and all. But yeah, I'm not doing so much longer. So yeah, this will take a while to clean this one. I consider doing a second round with water. We just had one that was particularly clean. This one isn't. Just a lot of fruit material. And when you put it on the paper towel, very often it stays on the paper towel. It dries up and stays on the paper towel. But in this case, a lot of it came with it. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. I would bag it up, but I consider doing a second round here, a second cleaning round at some point. Okay. And this was Uwe Kahle hybrid from 2017 as mother. And I need to look up what I used as father. Okay. Next one. So these are from Allergold. That is a great hybrid. Allergold, one of the plants that when I show it, every time people go crazy because the flowers are huge, flowers are nice, really a good kind of plant. And I did 2 crosses with it last year, in the last season, this year. And yeah, these are great. They have a huge potential. Flowers are way over 20 centimeters in diameter. It's pretty big, like this kind of big. Really a nice big cactus flower. And I had 2 fruits, one that was huge and one that was smaller. I think this is the smaller one. Yeah. And I really need to sow these out. This is the kind of stuff that you just have to, where you just have to give it a chance. Not many seeds. Only seeing maybe 250 at the most. It's good that we're cleaning them right now. Okay. Yeah, looking good here. Not a lot of dirt, but a few big pieces here and there. Just from the pulp that had dried and got into the seeds here. You can prevent that by cleaning everything very early on. The longer you wait, the more stuff will have molten into the fruit, into the seeds. Okay. Also a bunch of small, tiny seeds that will probably not come up. and I'm trying to sort them out already. I don't want to get into a situation where they come up but barely make it through the first day and then expire and cause a fungal infection. I don't want that. So trying to sort everything out that will not result in a healthy seedling. Here's a question about seeds coming from a fruit of Orange, California. It being open pollinated, whether there can be more than one parent. And yes, there can be. I've read a pretty good paper on this. I don't recall who wrote it, but as from what I understood, you can have like 3 parents minimum. Like either it was the maximum, like 3 parents, or like, but you could at least have 3 parents from in one fruit. That would mean, you have a bumblebee that flies around, that comes with that picks up pollen and brings it to the flower, and it pollinates one part of the flower, and then you have another bumblebee that pollinates another part. You could have a mix of seeds in one fruit easily. I really need to look up the paper again because it was interesting. I didn't know it was possible until I read it, but it makes sense. If you would just pollinate certain parts of the stigma, you would then be able to have it a little bit split up in the fruit, maybe even, like where you only pollinate that part with this pollen and another part with other pollen. I think it was tested also. I read about someone who had made that experiment, like just pollinating different parts of the flower, and he had unique seedlings where you could really see that it worked, where you could really see the parentage. So it's interesting. Open pollinated seeds, every now and then you can get amazing plants from open pollinated seeds. Orange, California is so amazing. No matter what the father is, it could be great. So yeah, definitely worth to try to sow it out. And when you see the plant, you can then try to guess what could be the parent. If you know what has been flowering nearby, you can then maybe pretty reliably guess what the father was, or at least one of the fathers, if there's doubt about that. In most cases, a pollination is still one parent, but with the way insects just crawl over all the flowers outside or in a greenhouse, if you open the doors and leave it open overnight, you will have so much life on the flowers that it could definitely happen that you get something pollinated by two different kind of by 2 insects that were on other kind of plants before that picked up different pollen beforehand. So yeah, you can also try by pollinating something with a pollen mix and then really taking a close look at the offspring, really trying to see how many of the parents that were in the original pollen mix were able to put their traits into the offspring. Can also tell you more about the parentage. Okay. So yeah, these are Allergold Flying Saucer crossed with Cantora Gelb. Really crazy, famous cross. We have seen a lot of good plants. And I would definitely sow these out. Just the kind of plant, when you see it, it is so amazing. It blows you away. I also had one in a time-lapse video, that a big orange kind of flower. It wasn't very long. It was like 25, 30 seconds. But the video was so amazing. It looked great. It's such a simple kind of cross, such a classic kind of cross. But it reliably produces amazing offspring. Okay, a la Gold. Fruit number 2. That's good. Great that I found it. Okay. Doing one more probably, and then I'm ending the stream today. Got a lot of work today, preparing everything for the window repair and all that. Getting ready today. But yeah, and this one here is from a Flying Dragon hybrid. Flying Dragon crossed with Cantora 1433. Just a few seeds, not many. Not the greatest genetics if you look at it. Maybe the father wasn't right. But I consistently see small fruits on the Flying Dragon Cantora hybrids. Yeah. Okay. At the most 80 seeds, but probably not even. Actually closer to 60. But I mean, it doesn't matter. If you only have 60 seeds, 60 seedlings would become a huge amount of seedlings. So that could already be way too much. It always depends on how you grow them and if you can actually get them to size. Okay. Yeah, a lot of my plants flower together too. I mean, you can really see that certain species always reliably flower at the same day every year. When I go through my old photos, I can really see, I could map out which plants would start to flower in May. May probably the months where I'm getting the earliest flowers, the big ones. And it's always the same that flower in May. And it's always the same that flower in June and July. It's really interesting from the perspective that it helps you to understand the genetic background of them a little bit closer. When plants flower at the same time, there's a good sign that they involve something very similar. In case it's hybrids, and if you are looking at different species that are flowering simultaneously, that can also tell you a little bit about if they maybe are connected or not. Of course, it's not something that you can blindly trust, but it gives you a little indicator, just a little idea of a potential genetic link. Okay, Flying Dragon, Cantora. Okay. Doing one more because this was so nice. This has really worked. As long as you have clean seeds, it's not a lot of bad work. It only becomes hard work when the seeds are really dirty. When you have to remove a lot, when you're constantly cleaning stuff. But this here, this isn't so bad. And these are also from Ika, Dessau and Gräsers Überraschung, multi-hybrid. It sounds pretty boring, and when you see the flower, you would probably not really be heavily impressed with that one either. But it just has something where it is a good parent in a hybrid cross. It just produces good offspring reliably, and that's why I started to grow some of them. but also very clean here, everything. Just a few unviable seeds that I'm sorting out, but also careful because they are small. Even the viable seed is tiny. You could easily sort them out just because they are so small. Okay. So, Ika, Dessau, and Gräsers Überraschung. 3 different parents involved, and all interesting in their own way. Ika, I've shown it on the channel. It has beautiful flowers, very nice flowering and often flowering, with lots of flowers simultaneously. Dessau, strong purple color, strong lilac kind of color, whatever. And Gräsers Überraschung, it has like I think it was pinkish, the color. So the flower isn't great when you look at it, but it just works great in combination with these 2 parents somehow. I'm like my pen is running out of ink. This, I think it's the last one that I still have, so I really need to get me a new one soon. I bought these. I bought a 10-pack maybe 15 years ago or 10 years ago, and they've been working ever since, but now it's coming to an end. Okay. Good. How late is it? Yeah, I guess I will be going offline now so I can move the plants out again. I want to move these here in front of the heater. And I want to do it so the wound has a good climate to heal. This will be difficult. Like I said in the beginning, if you missed it, check out the beginning of the video where we've discussed this thing. You can still see the discoloration, but I just hope we will get it to heal. If not, we will put something on top of it, like a lamp, like discussed earlier. LED panel, like a flat kind of panel that you can press onto the wound. At least that's what I will do. But only do it when you are with it, so it doesn't cause a burn, so it doesn't burn. But yeah, the flat kind of grow panels, they are great because you can bring them close to the wound and it kind of dries the wound right away. So that is something that we might do. If not, I will try to just let it callus at normal temperature inside a house, in a heated house. Humidity needs to be as low as possible. Okay, guys, thank you for participating in my stream. I love it every day. Yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow doing another stream. So yeah, thank you for joining me always in this stuff. And I'll be back. Thank you, guys.